Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Marked with Heather Brummer. She's
Hi.
our guest today, and we're going to get to hear a story that the Lord used significantly in her life. So go ahead and tell us what came to your minds when we were talking about sharing a story that would fall into the category of being marked for you.
Yes. So I am from Tennessee and I moved to Texas in my early 20s. And when I moved to Texas, I got involved in the church here and I rededicated my life to the Lord. I really wanted to live for the Lord and really just live for Him, not for myself anymore. But there was this one area of my life that I just kept falling in and I kept failing. And it was just this one area and I never understood why. And I kept trying to fix myself. And so I'd fail and then I'd repent and then I'd hate myself. And, I was carrying so much shame and self-condemnation and it was really ugly. And I just kept falling into the cycle. Well, about 16, 17 years ago, I had just had a royal failing and made terrible decisions. And I saw one of my friends, and she had just gotten back from this really powerful revival that was going on. And she was super on fire. And this is when, we were in, our church was in a lot of the charismatics, people being slain in the spirit and feeling incredible, experiences with the Lord and miracles and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, here, I just want to pray for you. And so she came over and she put her hands on me. She started praying. And I felt God's incredible presence. It was so sweet and heavy, and I don't even know how else. It's like somebody put a big, huge weighted blanket on me, but it felt amazing. And all I could think about is I just did that, and you would still want to be with me.
Wow.
And it broke so much shame and self-condemnation off of me, and I melted. I was a sobbing, nasty mess on the carpet, and my friend was like,
Jesus, that's awesome.
yeah, my friend was like, this seems like more crying, more than just being touched by the Spirit. What's going on? And so I told her, and that put me on a very rapid path to my healing journey with what I'd been struggling with, and even much more of the root causes and, breaking all that self-condemnation off and the rebellion and all of those places where I was trying to get my own needs met and fully submitting to the Lord. And it was just the most incredible experience of fast. That was my own miraculous healing. No, it was not a physical thing, but it felt very physical for me.
Wow. So God loved you so much that He would, in the middle of just making some of the biggest bad choices of your life, He shows up in a remarkable way to just, show you how much He loves you? What was that like? What did it do for your soul?
I felt very undone. I very much lived a life of being self-sufficient and not needing anybody else and being afraid to fully commit to anybody else, both people and even God, apparently. And just the fact that He would come and love on me in my most ugly moment was more than I could ever imagine. I mean, we always hear about the unconditional love of Jesus, and I can't explain to you any better than my experience at that. That was His absolute unconditional love in the midst of my ugly.
I
It was so sweet.
So we're talking about these instances where we feel marked, where the Lord shows up, where there's a definite before and after. Your life before this happened and your life after it's happened. How would you describe that your life is different now?
Now I can recognize shame like a big, huge, ugly monster, even when it's coming or when it's on other people. I feel like I have so much more peace about who God calls me and that I don't have to work for it. And I've thoroughly enjoyed being able to walk with other people and being like, hey, it seems like you're doing self-condemnation. They're like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, are you punishing yourself? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's what that is.
Wow. So you got in touch with some really negative, powerful feelings and realized like the stronghold that those things had over you, got your freedom, but now you're also ministering that freedom to other people. That's
It's
incredible.
fun.
Yeah, I love that. And that's really what it's all about, is just trying to share with people the love of Jesus, how powerful it is, how life transforming it is, how sweet it is, how mind blowing it is to encounter him in powerful ways. And I know some people can relate, and others may say, I want to know that. And this is really about making it seem more practical and more normal to encounter God in powerful ways. If we are diligent to press into him, press into his word, press into his amazing presence, when we see him start to minister to us, and then also being thankful for that. And anyway, so I just appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Thank you.
And just knowing that there are lots of people dealing with shame, and there are lots of people dealing with messing up. And again, there's all kinds of addictions. There's all kinds of patterns and ruts that we find ourselves in, whether it's financial or drugs or whatever, the gamut. Like, we are all human.
Oh, yeah.
Walking this track of life, and we find ourselves in these places. And so it's so encouraging to hear like how God showed up for you.
Yeah. I just learned it was a very solidified lesson. Like, there's nothing so bad that we can do that God doesn't still love us and he can't forgive us.
That's so
Nothing.
good. Wow, what a power statement. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
Pleasure.
for joining us. We'll see you next time.